Hey there, I'm Mustache Mike, and welcome to my corner of the workshop. Do you use spiral blades for your scroll saw projects? Many fellow scroll sawers hesitate because they've heard that these blades are hard to control, they break easily, you can't use them very well on thick wood, and they leave horrid tear out and don't hold in the saw clamps very well. Let me ask you this, why does Olson, Pegasus, Flying Dutchman, Black Horse, Sawbird, and many others make them? You know, I love spiral blades. And if these are used properly, they can accomplish things that flat-sided blades struggle with at times, or can't even do. Now, to demonstrate their effectiveness, I made a project exclusively with spiral blades and in thick wood. So let's take a look at how that project came out. So obviously, you'll need to pick a pattern, some wood, and attach the pattern. Now, here I chose some 3/4 100-year-old pine that I'd found in the shop. It's going to be about an average sized project with about 40 holes, and disregard the 1/2 inch thick that you see here on the pattern. This is also one of Steve Good's patterns. Now, here's something I always do after drilling pierce cut holes in a pattern. I always take my rotary tool with a ballpoint bit and clean up the holes. This makes finding and getting the blade in the hole a whole lot easier. Okay, let's start. The number one factor, of course, is blade control, especially with spiral blades. You have to let the blade do the work. And if you push it like you would a flat blade, I'll guarantee this is what's going to happen. You're going to break it. Now watch the angle of the blade in this clip. When the forward pressure is matched with the rate of the material removal, it's easy to follow the pattern line. You start to push it, and what's going to happen is the blade's going to angle, and control will then be lost, especially in turns and direction changes. Now this doesn't mean, however, the blade will never angle. If you want more forward speed with a cut, don't push harder. Go up a size or two with the blade, but you want to remember too that kerf's going to increase with blade diameter as well. So here in this particular pattern, I increased to a number 2 spiral blade. But again, you still have to match the forward speed with the material removal. And watch the blade angle here and see how accuracy is affected. Now with spiral blades, you don't have to worry about those snap turns that are often made with flat blades. What is important, though, is that when making a turn or a direction change, you have to ease the forward pressure and let the blade return to perpendicular. It's easy to do, but it's absolutely necessary. And here's where many people start to easily reject spiral blades. They don't ease up, and they get poor results. Spiral blades can do very delicate work, and actually for the beginner, they're easier to master than intricate cuts with flat blades. Here's a quick tip. How to safely remove small pieces from thick wood. You can simply use a screwdriver, as I did here, or even push the piece out with an old blade. It works real good. Now, as with any wood, a blade or pattern, it's good to anticipate the weak spots in the pattern. Also the vibration points. And if you do this in advance and prepare, you're going to really cut down the likelihood of breaking off a piece of your cut. Now, one potential problem with spiral blades, because of the way they're made, is pattern lift. But do not fret, pun intended. Just apply a little spray glue to a Q-tip and re-glue those loose areas. Pattern removal with the heat gun makes the task easy. Just watch the heat gun on your fingers. I like to do some light sanding at this point. Not too much pressure. Notice how the cut piece moves a little bit as I sand? This is the light pressure that you want, just enough to remove the glue residue. Any heavy glue that you have can be removed with a solvent. Here the rotary tool again comes in handy. In this case, it's to clean up edges of the base piece. I have a really nice selection of various grit diamonds that I really like for doing this. The same can be done with the inside and outside edges of the cut piece. Sometimes I will rework the piece a little at this time as well. Might change the contour a little bit or depth or open up a hole a little bit. Time to apply the backer piece with its color. Here I'm kind of using a red walnut. Now, being I'm going to paint the leading edges with an acrylic paint, I don't want it to soak too much into the wood because you might see it on the edge of the cut piece. So what I'm doing here is coating with a clear acrylic sealer to the top piece. Now, I prefer Mod Podge brand. Yes, does anybody remember Decoupage? If you do, that dates you. But I particularly like this type of spray acrylic sealer. Apply the adhesive to the front piece and mount, and of course, don't over apply the glue. Apply the paint. Project came out great, didn't it? You know, in the future, we're going to go deeper into the use of spiral blades. And of course, spiral blades weren't meant to replace flat blades. But there's certainly nothing, as you can see, to shun. So why not add these blades to your scroll saw arsenal skill set and keep on cutting? I want to thank you for stopping by to my corner of the workshop, and we'll see you soon. And remember, I'm Mustache Mike, and you can trust me, because I would never pull your stash.